Is on chromosomes, and hopefully you got the lab handout for it. But before you start in on it, I want to give this lecture on meiosis, because that's part of what you'll be doing today with the chromosomes. Well, I guess I'll just jump into it. I'm not sure exactly how long the lecture is, maybe half an hour or so. Okay, let's see. Well, in the lecture hall, we've almost finished the mitosis section, and the basic idea of that is mitosis is when the daughter cells have the same number of chromosomes, end up with the same number of chromosomes as the mother cell. And so typically what it means when people talk about mitosis is a diploid mother cell is dividing into two diploid daughter cells. You still got enough light to see, right? All right. Whereas meiosis is kind of the opposite. In meiosis, the diploid mother cell divides in such a way to make haploid daughter cells. And maybe we should talk about sets of chromosomes. Remember that if we're talking about a human cell, you have 46 chromosomes, but that's actually two sets of 23. You have two chromosome number 1s, you have two chromosome number 2s, you have two chromosome number 3s. So what happens in meiosis is really those sets of chromosomes go into separate daughter cells. So this daughter cell has only one chromosome number 1, one chromosome number 2, one chromosome number 3, 23 chromosomes. And this one has one set of 23 chromosomes, one chromosome number 1, one chromosome number 2, one chromosome number 3, all the way down to the 23rd chromosomes. In other words, the two sets of chromosomes split apart from each other in meiosis. And it's in the human life cycle, the only spot where meiosis occurs in your body is in your gonads, which are the body parts that make your reproductive cells, your sperm and your eggs. Everything else, all other cell division in your body is mitosis. So we begin right here. All of us start off life as a zygote, a fertilized egg cell where the sperm and the egg got together. And then, so that had 46 chromosomes, one set of 23 from mom, one set of 23 inherited from dad. And then once that zygote was formed, it started to do mitosis. So all the cells in your body when you were born were diploid because they came from that diploid zygote cell. And then furthermore, you continue to grow. And so it's mitosis, mitosis, mitosis to allow you to grow into your adult body. And all the development and the repair and the maintenance of your body is still mitosis, with the one exception in your gonads when you're making your sex cells. That's meiosis. Now the official name for your sex cells are gametes. Here's the word here. Your sperm cells if you're a male and egg cells if you're a female are your gamete cells. So those are the only haploid cells in your body. Oh, I bet different. Okay, and maybe before I go on, I should talk about your maternal chromosomes and your paternal chromosomes. So each of us has 46 chromosomes, one set of 23 that you inherited from your mom, and one set of 23 that you inherited from your dad. And you call the ones that you inherited from your mom your maternal chromosomes, which are the red ones in this diagram. And you call the ones you inherited from your dad your paternal chromosomes. So you have 23 paternals and 23 maternals that together make up your 46. Alrighty. One thing interesting about meiosis is it's not just one round of division, it's actually two rounds of division. So you actually end up with 4 daughter cells in meiosis, as opposed to mitosis, which is just one round of division. So you end up with 2 daughter cells. The first one is called meiosis 1, or M1 for short. And then those daughter cells then divide, and so you end up with 4 daughter cells. That second round of division is called meiosis 2, or M2, where each of the daughter cells from M1 divides. All right, well, let's focus in on meiosis 1. It's a little more involved than meiosis 2. Let's see. All right, now, maybe as we go through meiosis 1, we should think about how it differs from mitosis. All right, so before meiosis 1 occurs, the chromosomes are going to duplicate. Is that the same as or different than mitosis? Same. Yeah, remember, before mitosis occurs, yeah, that's just annoying. Before mitosis occurs, the chromosomes also duplicate. So far, about the same. All right, now that the chromosomes have duplicated, we're going to get nuclear division and cytokinesis. So is that the same or different from mitosis? Different. What was different about it? The chromosome, the centromeres did not split. Remember, in mitosis, the centromeres split apart from each other, and each chromatid of each chromosome moved apart. But that didn't happen in meiosis, and we can actually run a side-by-side comparison. So it starts off the same with the chromosomes duplicating. Let me try something here. This is going to work. Oh, seems a little better. Okay. Anyway, so it starts off the same with the chromosomes duplicating, but in mitosis, the centromeres split, and in meiosis, they don't. And so you get that. All right. There we go. All right, so remembering that a cell is diploid if it has 2 of each chromosome. Let's say this represents the chromosome number 1 pair. Is this cell diploid?
Yes.
Yeah, because it has 2 chromosome number 1s. Well, I'm going to use chromosome number 1 as my example, but anytime a cell has 2 of each chromosome, a homologous pair of each chromosome, then it's diploid. So 2 chromosome number 1s make this a diploid cell. The other daughter cell of mitosis is also diploid. Diploid or haploid? Haploid, right. Because remember, despite the fact that it has 2 chromatids, it only counts as 1 chromosome because you count the number of centromeres when you're counting chromosomes. So this is a haploid cell that only has 1 chromosome number 1. And likewise, this is a haploid cell. It also has only 1 chromosome number 1. And so listen to this carefully. At the end of mitosis, each daughter cell is diploid, 2 chromosome number 1s, but those chromosomes are unduplicated chromosomes. So you get diploid cells with unduplicated chromosomes. But at the end of meiosis 1, cells are haploid with duplicated chromosomes. Meiosis 1 gives you haploid cells with duplicated chromosomes. Mitosis gives you diploid cells with unduplicated chromosomes. A little tricky, but that's what it is. All right, so daughter cells haploid with duplicated chromosomes because the centromeres did not split.
So, under meiosis side,
Okay, this side, yeah.
so one of these, in this specific example, one of these cells has a maternal chromosome, the other one has the paternal chromosome?
For right now, yes, but I'm going to modify that in a little bit. But yeah, for right now, yes. And in the mitosis, they each still have maternal and paternal chromosomes, or copies of each chromosome. So it's diploid, and those are haploid, but with duplicated chromosomes. All right, and here's the flow diagram of the same thing. Before meiosis 1, the chromosomes duplicate, and then in meiosis 1, the homologous pair of duplicated chromosome number 1s segregate, or assort as they're sometimes called, into separate daughter cells. So in meiosis 1, you get 2 daughter cells which are haploid but with duplicated chromosomes. Okay, so far so good. The next division in meiosis is called meiosis 2. And just as a preview, just to sum it up before I show it to you, it looks a lot like mitosis in that we are going to split apart the centromere, and each one of these will get just one chromatid. So we're going from from duplicated chromosomes to unduplicated chromosomes. So here's meiosis 2. Centromeres do split. Chromatids move apart from each other. Cytokinesis occurs. All right, and that's what we end up with at the end of meiosis 2. So are those cells haploid or diploid or something else? And you see 2 chromosome number 1s in each cell? Just one. So if you only have one of each type of chromosome, you are haploid. Like that. And there they are. And we're going to go over the haploid-diploid business again. The original mother cell is diploid. She has 2 chromosome number 1s and 2 chromosome number 2s and 2 chromosome number 3s. So she's 2 of each chromosome makes her diploid. And then in meiosis 1, the homologous pairs of chromosomes split apart from each other. So this cell only has 1 chromosome number 1 and this cell only has 1 chromosome number 1. So it makes them haploid if you only have 1 of each chromosome. But they're duplicated, and in meiosis 2, each duplicated chromosome splits apart, and so each daughter cell only has 1 of those. But notice that the ploidy still hasn't changed. This still has 1 chromosome number 1, 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 and so they're still haploid at the end of meiosis 2. So the ploidy, so to speak, hasn't changed. This cell was haploid. The daughter cells are haploid. All we've done is go from duplicated chromosomes to unduplicated chromosomes in meiosis 2. Sound all right? Okay, so remember that in animals like humans, this only takes place in your gonads when you're making your gametes, your sperm or your egg cells. And if we're talking about the gentleman in the room here, it works just like I'm showing you here. When you, in your testes, this is going on, and so for every diploid cell in your testes that's making sperm, every diploid cell that undergoes meiosis to make sperm makes 4 sperm. Here we go, there it is. So in your testes, the cells that undergo meiosis duplicate their chromosomes, then you get meiosis 1, and then those undergo meiosis 2, and you get 4 sperm cells. In females, when they're making their eggs in their ovaries by meiosis, it's the same basic pattern, but there's kind of a subtle twist to it, and here's what it is. In females, when you get cytokinesis at each step, it's unequal cytokinesis. So it starts the same. In the ovary, the diploid cells duplicate their chromosomes, and then there's cytokinesis in meiosis 1 to separate those homologous pairs like that and like that, but it's unequal cytokinesis, so one cell gets the lion's share of the cytoplasm and the organelles and the membrane, and the other only gets very little cytoplasm and organelles and membrane. And then in meiosis 2, the same thing. The chromosomes still act the same. You split apart each duplicated chromosome like that, but it's unequal cytokinesis, so one cell gets the vast majority of the cytoplasm and organelles and membrane, and the other one gets very little. And only the large one becomes the egg, or ova as it's called. The other 3 are called polar bodies, those guys right there, and they're not used for anything. They just get reabsorbed into the woman's ovaries, and I guess the proteins and things inside them just get broken down and recycled. Nothing really happens to them. So one of the effects of this is that eggs end up being very large cells compared to sperm. And you can see that on this there. Oh, I thought I had a picture of some sperm cells fertilizing an egg cell, but I guess I don't.
determines which one?
Becomes the egg cell, which ones become the polar bodies?
Yes.
I don't know. It might be random for all I know. Okay, so that is meiosis in a nutshell, the meiosis 1 and meiosis 2. And you go from, again, diploid mother cell with 2 of each chromosome, a maternal and paternal, to haploid daughter cells with just 1 of each chromosome. Go ahead.
Does the does the egg determine or the sperm determine the sex of
The offspring, it's the sperm that does, because the sex is determined, of the offspring is determined by one of the chromosomes that can be called the X chromosome, and eggs always only have an X chromosome, but half the sperm carry a Y chromosome and half the sperm carry another X chromosome, and so if the egg is fertilized by one carrying a Y chromosome, the offspring's a male, and if it's fertilized by a sperm carrying an X chromosome, the offsprings are female. Okay, let's see. There's a saying that variety is the spice of life, which I think just means that variety is a good thing.